I am completely, totally, absolutely fine. That's what I tell myself as I step through the grand doors of the estate, the wedding venue dripping in chandeliers and fresh white roses. The air smells expensive, like champagne and polished wood, and the soft hum of string music fills the space. I don't hesitate. I don't pause to take a deep breath or check my reflection in one of the massive gilded mirrors lining the hallway. I just walk in, shoulders squared, confidence dialed up to maximum. Because I'm fine. I'm here to celebrate, to clap at the right moments, to smile at my ex, the man I once thought I'd spend my life with, as he marries someone else. And why wouldn't I be fine? It's been years. Years of moving on, of late-night dates with people who aren't him, of learning to say his name without my chest tightening. Years of accepting that he was always going to end up with someone else, even if that someone else is her. I knew Ava. Not well, but enough. She was always there, friends with his friends, kind, charming, the sort of person people just liked. And yet, I never once thought she'd be the one. But I guess it makes sense. She's steady, warm, uncomplicated. Maybe that's what he needed. So yeah, I'm fine. Adam? I turn toward the voice, already prepared with my best nonchalant smile. A woman in pastel pink. Someone from the groom's side. Maybe a cousin? Gives me a once-over and tilts her head. Wow, I almost didn't recognize you. You look good. I flash a grin. Thanks, so do you. She nods, and for a second there's this awkward silence. Like she's trying to figure out if she should say something else. If she should acknowledge the elephant in the room. That I am the ex, the past. The guy who once had Sebastian in ways no one else did. But before she can, another guest waves her over, and she's gone. Lost in the sea of well-dressed people sipping champagne and murmuring about the soon-to-be married couple. I exhale, pressing my lips together. No big deal. I knew this would happen. People looking, wondering, whispering. It doesn't bother me. Not even a little. I weave through the crowd, making my way toward the bar, but the main bathrooms are packed, a line stretching out the door. Great. The last thing I need is to stand around making awkward small talk while pretending I'm completely unaffected by all of this. I spot a hallway leading to the quieter side of the estate. Perfect. There has to be another bathroom back there, away from the chaos. I make my way down the dim corridor, the hum of the party fading with each step. A single door at the end catches my eye. I push it open and step inside, sighing in relief at the silence. And then I freeze, because I'm not alone. Sebastian stands there, hands braced on the sink, his reflection staring back at me in the mirror. Our eyes meet. The door swings shut behind me with a quiet click, and when I turn back to test the handle, it doesn't budge. Shit. A few minutes later. For a second, neither of us moves. Sebastian straightens, eyes narrowing slightly. Of course. His voice is calm, almost amused, but there's tension in the way his fingers tap against the porcelain sink. He turns toward the door at the same time I do, both of us reaching for the handle like we can pretend this isn't happening. I twist the knob. Nothing. Sebastian tries next, jiggling it harder. Still nothing. He exhales, pressing his forehead against the wood for half a second before stepping back. Well, this is fantastic. I cross my arms. You're telling me this is the only damn bathroom in this whole place with a broken lock? No, I'm telling you this is the only damn bathroom you could have walked into at the worst possible moment. My jaw tightens. Relax. I was just checking my reflection. Yeah? Well, I was just trying to breathe. The way he says it makes something in my stomach twist. I glance at him properly now. Really look. His tie is loose. His hair slightly mussed, like he's been running a hand through it over and over. His hazel eyes flicker, and for the briefest second, I think I see it. The weight of something he's not saying. But before I can focus on that, I do what I do best. I deflect. Well, you can breathe all you want, I say, stepping aside. Go ahead. Big, deep breaths. Really soak in the fresh bathroom air. Sebastian lets out a dry laugh, shaking his head. God, you're insufferable. Right back at you. Silence settles between us, thick and uncomfortable. I pull out my phone, but the screen mocks me. No service. Sebastian tries his next. Holding it up like an inch higher is going to change anything. He sighs. Perfect. I lean back against the counter, staring at the ceiling. So, what now? You just sit here until someone realizes the groom's missing? Sebastian doesn't answer right away. He's staring at the door like he can will it open, hands clenched at his sides. Then he exhales sharply and turns toward me, arms crossed. Guess we don't have a choice. Another silence stretches between us, but this time it feels different. He's too close. The room is too small. The weight of our past sits heavy in the air, impossible to ignore. And for the first time since walking into this wedding, I'm not so sure I'm fine. About an hour later. Minutes tick by, stretching into what feels like hours. No voices outside, no footsteps, nothing. Sebastian pulls out his phone, frowning as he taps the screen. Still no service. I check mine too. Same thing. I let out a slow breath, rubbing a hand over my jaw. Great. We could knock, he suggests, not sounding convinced. I arch a brow. You think no one's heard us by now? Either this door is soundproof or everyone's too busy with the wedding to care. Sebastian mutters something under his breath, then presses his palm against the door and knocks. Loud. Nothing. Fantastic, I say. We could try yelling. He gives me a look. Or we could not. I sigh, shoving my phone back in my pocket. Okay, next plan. Sebastian exhales sharply. Which is? I glance at the window. It's high, but not impossibly high. Think I can fit? Sebastian follows my gaze, then scoffs. You? Absolutely not. I roll my eyes. Watch me. I climb onto the sink, pressing my palms against the wall as I stretch toward the ledge. It's a tight squeeze, but my fingers grip the frame. I shift my weight, trying to hoist myself up, and... Whoa! Sebastian's hand lands on my waist, steadying me as I almost slip. His grip is firm, warm, and way too familiar. A jolt of something. Nostalgia? Something worse? Shoots through me. I freeze. So does he. For a second, neither of us moves. I can hear his breathing, can feel it against my neck. My pulse pounds, and suddenly, it's like we're in an entirely different moment. One from years ago. One where his hands on me meant something else. My stomach twists, and I swallow hard. You can let go now. His fingers linger for half a second longer before he steps back. I drop down from the sink, clearing my throat. Yeah, so that didn't work. Sebastian crosses his arms, expression unreadable. Nope. Silence. And we're still stuck. Over an hour later. The silence is suffocating. I swear the air in this bathroom is thickened with the weight of everything we're not saying. Sebastian stands with his back against the door, arms crossed, jaw tight. I'm perched on the counter, pretending to be unbothered, but my knee won't stop bouncing. I can feel him looking at me. Not directly, but enough. And when he finally speaks, his voice is too casual, too forced. So, how's life? I snort. Really? That's where we're starting? His lips press together, annoyed. What, you'd rather we just stand here in silence for the next however many hours? Honestly? Yeah, it's peaceful. Right. He huffs a quiet laugh, but there's no humor in it. Same old Adam. Something about the way he says it makes my chest tighten. I glance at him, brows pulling together. What's that supposed to mean? He shakes his head, looking away, and something sharp twists in my stomach. I push off the counter, closing the space between us just enough to make it uncomfortable. Go on, Sebastian. Say what you want to say. He looks at me, hazel eyes unreadable. I just mean, you never change. A scoff leaves my lips before I can stop it. Right, and you're what, a whole new person? He doesn't answer, and that pisses me off. I take a slow step back, arms crossing over my chest. Must be nice, I mutter, forgetting the past so easily, moving on so fast. His jaw tightens. I let out a hollow laugh. No, you did. You really did. His fingers twitch at his sides, like he's holding something in. But instead of snapping, he just exhales through his nose, looking away again. I don't know why that makes me feel worse. Minutes stretch on. Sebastian paces the small space, agitated, running a hand through his hair over and over. I lean against the sink, arms crossed, watching. The words slip out before I can stop them. Did you ever think about me? He freezes mid-step. His back is to me, shoulders tense, hands clenched. For a second, I think he's not going to answer. Then, I thought about you every fucking day. It's quiet. Almost too quiet. But the weight of it slams into me. I open my mouth, but he turns, eyes burning now, and suddenly I forget how to breathe. You think I moved on too fast? His voice is sharp now, raw. You think I just forgot about us? He lets out a bitter laugh, shaking his head. You're the one who left, Adam. You were the one who walked away. I flinched. That's not fair. No? He steps closer. Because that's how I remember it. My stomach twists. I left because you didn't... I cut myself off, teeth clenching. Sebastian tilts his head, challenging. I didn't what? I shake my head. Forget it. No. His voice is steel now, and before I can stop him, he closes the space between us. Too close, too much. Say it. I lift my chin, glaring. I left because you didn't fight for me. His breath catches. The words hang between us, too heavy to take back. For a long moment, neither of us move. Then he laughs, soft, disbelieving. You think I didn't fight for you? His voice drops, rough around the edges. I begged you to stay. I swallow hard, fingers curling at my sides. You let me go. His gaze flickers, something breaking there, because you made it clear you wanted to leave. Silence. Something burns behind my ribs, too big, too messy. I shake my head, looking away. I just wanted you to stop me, I whisper. And that's the moment it happens. Sebastian exhales, something breaking in his expression. And then, he reaches for me. His hand brushes mine, barely, just a whisper of contact, but it's enough to make the air shift. I freeze. Sebastian does too. His fingers twitch, like he might pull away, like he might not. Our breaths are uneven. The space between us feels impossibly small. Adam. My name on his lips is too much, too familiar, too damn soft. I don't know who moves first. Maybe it's both of us. But suddenly we're closer, breaths mingling, eyes locked. My pulse hammers. His gaze flickers to my mouth. I can't think, can't move. And then, his lips part, just barely, and I swear I feel the ghost of his breath against mine. A reckless, years in the making kiss. But I pull back. So does he. We stare at each other, breathless, wrecked. Because this isn't right. Because he's still getting married. Right? Sebastian blinks, as if snapping out of whatever spell we were under. He steps back, jaw clenched, hands curling into fists. I let out a shaky breath, pressing my back against the counter for support. The air between us is thick. Too many words left unspoken. But one thing is painfully clear. We are not fine. Not even close. A few hours later. The silence has changed. It's not the sharp, stifling kind from earlier, the one filled with tension and old wounds. No, this one is heavier, drained, a silence that just lingers. Sebastian sits on the floor, back against the door, knees bent. I'm still leaning against the sink, arms crossed, eyes unfocused. Neither of us have spoken in a long time. I don't know how much time has passed. Feels like hours. Probably is. Shouldn't we have heard something by now? I mumble. Sebastian doesn't answer right away, then quietly, yeah. He doesn't look at me, just tilts his head back against the door, staring at the ceiling. His tie is loose, his shirt slightly wrinkled from how many times he's run his hands over his face. Something about it makes my stomach twist. I check my phone again, still no service, but the time on the screen makes my heart trip. Sebastian, I say slowly, frowning, the ceremony was supposed to start hours ago. He finally looks at me, and I can tell we're both thinking the same thing. Why hasn't anyone come looking for him? A weird feeling creeps into my chest. Something isn't right. I stand up straighter. I mean, your best man? Your family? The bride? Sebastian swallows, his fingers tapping against his knee. Maybe they think... He hesitates. I don't know. But we do know. They think he ran. That he got cold feet and disappeared. A sick kind of realization settles in my chest. Shit. Outside this room, the wedding must be dissolving into a slow, confused mess. People waiting, whispering, checking their phones, and then one by one, probably leaving. The thought makes my pulse pick up. I glance at Sebastian. He doesn't look back. A few more hours pass. More time passes. I don't know how much. The hum of music from earlier is gone. No more muffled voices, no more laughter. The air feels empty now. Sebastian shifts, running a hand over his face. This is ridiculous. No argument here. He sighs, rubbing his temples. You know, if you hadn't walked in here, my wedding would have happened. I let out a dry laugh. Oh yeah? And you wouldn't be hyperventilating in the bathroom? His eyes snap to mine. For a second, I think he's going to argue. Instead, he exhales, shoulders dropping. I don't know. Honesty. The weight of it sits between us, heavy, unavoidable. I lean back against the counter. You ever think maybe you didn't want to get married? His jaw tightens. That's not... He stops, closes his eyes, takes a breath. I wanted it to mean something. I study him. And did it? Sebastian doesn't answer. That's an answer in itself. Neither of us speak after that, because what else is there to say? Outside this room, a wedding fell apart. The bride stood alone. The guests left, confused and murmuring. And here we are, silent, trapped. Facing the impossible truth neither of us wanted to say out loud. What now? Around late in the evening, a sound. I jolt awake. Did I fall asleep? As the door clicks. Sebastian stirs, blinking blearily. The door swings open, and a man in a security uniform stands there, brows furrowed. What the hell? Sebastian and I just stare at him. The guard blinks. How long have you two been in here? Sebastian clears his throat, voice hoarse. A while? The guy shakes his head, muttering something under his breath, then steps aside. Well, you're free now. Free. Sebastian stands first, stretching. He doesn't meet my eyes as he steps past me, out into the hall. I follow, my muscles stiff from sitting for so long. But when we step out into the open, everything is empty. The once bustling wedding venue, deserted. No guests, no music, no laughter, just nothing. Sebastian stops dead, staring at the vacant ballroom. The decorated tables are untouched. The aisle leading to the altar is still lined with white petals. But there's no one here. The wedding is over. My throat feels tight. Guess they thought you bailed. Sebastian exhales slowly, dragging a hand through his hair. He looks wrecked, drained, like someone pulled the floor out from under him, and he doesn't know where to land. I watch as he takes it in. The emptiness, the consequences, the reality of what just happened. And then, without a word, he turns and starts walking. Not fast, not in a panic, just walking. Away from the wedding that never happened. Away from me. I stand there, watching him go. Something inside me says I should call out, say something, stop him. But I don't, because I don't know what comes next either. A few weeks later. Weeks pass. I tell myself I don't think about him. I tell myself it's fine. That I didn't check his socials. That I don't replay that night over and over, wondering what the hell he was thinking when he walked away. I almost believe it. Until I see him again. It's just a normal afternoon. I step into my favorite coffee shop, ready to drown myself in caffeine, when I look up. And there he is, Sebastian, standing at the counter, scanning the menu like he doesn't already know what he wants. Like this is any other day. Like my entire chest hasn't just caved in at the sight of him. I freeze. I could turn around, walk out, pretend I never saw him. But then, like some cruel joke, he turns. And our eyes meet. For a second, neither of us move. Then, his lips part slightly. Adam. It's barely a word, but something in my chest tightens. I clear my throat, forcing my body to work. Hey. He hesitates, like he's debating something more. But before he can, the barista calls his name. He grabs his drink, fingers tighten around the cup, but he doesn't leave. Instead, he takes a step toward me, then another. And just like that, we're face to face. Can we sit? He asks quietly. I should say no. I should definitely say no. But I don't. I nod, and we sit. The conversation starts easy, cautious, surface level small talk, like we aren't two people who ripped each other's hearts apart. But then, the wedding, I say, staring down at my coffee. What happened? Sebastian exhales slowly, turning his cup in his hands. I called it off. A beat. I lift my eyes to his. Why? His jaw shifts, and for a second, he looks away, like he's choosing his words carefully. It wasn't fair. To her. He doesn't say anything else. He doesn't need to. Something in my chest tightens, but I push it down. I nod, taking a sip of my coffee to keep my hands busy. She didn't deserve that. No, he agrees softly. She didn't. Silence. And then, finally, he looks at me. Really looks at me. And there's something in his eyes. Something unfinished. Something that says this isn't over. Not yet. A few days later. It starts with a text. Then another. Then one of us finally calls. I don't even remember how it happens, but suddenly we're on the phone, and it's not awkward. It's easy. Like slipping into something familiar, like no time has passed at all. We talk about everything except that night. He tells me about how he's been clearing things out with his ex-fiancée, how she deserves better than someone who was too scared to admit the truth. I don't ask what the truth is. I tell him about work, about the stupid new bar I tried with friends, about the book I'm reading that he'd probably hate. He laughs. It's a quiet sound, but warm, real. And we just keep talking. Next thing I know, I'm lying on my bed staring at the ceiling, the clock reading past 2 a.m. Shit, I mumble. Sebastian chuckles, voice softer now. Yeah. Neither of us says I should go. Neither of us wants to. But eventually the silence stretches too long and he exhales. Good night, Adam. His voice is different when he says it. Like it means something. Like it always has. 2 weeks later. It's just dinner. That's what we tell ourselves. Just catching up, no pressure. But the moment we sit down across from each other, the air shifts. I see it in the way he drums his fingers against the table, in the way his eyes linger too long when I speak. Halfway through the meal, he shakes his head, smiling. You're still the same? I raise an eyebrow. What's that supposed to mean? Sebastian leans forward slightly, resting his chin on his palm. Still stubborn. Still too damn good at deflecting. I smirk. And you're still annoying. His lips twitch. So I've been told. The conversation flows easily. Laughter slipping in between words. The restaurant empties out, but we stay. An hour passes, then another. At some point, the candles on the table burn low, and the city outside hums quietly under the streetlights. And I realize, I don't want the night to end. Neither does he. Over a week later. Days blur together. More calls, more meetups, more moments that last longer than they should. We don't talk about what we're doing. We don't put a name to it. But it's there. In the glances, in the way he brushes his fingers against mine when we walk side by side, in the way my heart kicks every time my phone lights up with his name. Then, one night, we find ourselves on a quiet street, just walking. No rush, no destination. Sebastian stops under a street lamp, shoving his hands in his pockets. Adam. Something about the way he says my name makes me still. I turn to him. Yeah? He doesn't look away this time. Doesn't hesitate, doesn't run. I never stopped loving you. 3 years of silence, of pretending, of moving on, but never really moving on. And now here he is, saying the words like he's known them all along. My chest feels too full. My throat is tight. I exhale a slow, shaky breath, and then I smile, because I already knew. I know. He exhales too, just a little. A breath of relief, of something settling into place. We don't say anything more. We don't have to. We just stand there, beneath the soft glow of the street lamp, letting the moment be what it is. Letting it exist, raw and real, between us. And for the first time in years, it feels like enough. A few days later, Sebastian asked me to meet him. No vague excuses, no casual pretense, just meet me. And even though I tell myself I don't know what he's going to say, deep down, I do. The air is thick with summer heat as I step out into the quiet rooftop of a downtown building, a place we used to sneak off to years ago. He's already there, leaning against the railing, staring out over the city. He turns when he hears me, and for a second, we just look at each other. Then he exhales, shaking his head. I don't know where to start. I take a step closer. Try the beginning. He lets out a soft laugh, but there's no amusement in it, just exhaustion, maybe even regret. The wedding didn't fall apart because of you, he says finally. His voice is steady, but I can hear the weight behind it. It fell apart because I was never in love with her the way I was with you. A lump rises in my throat, but I don't speak. Sebastian takes a slow breath. He's bracing himself. I tried, Adam. I really did. I thought if I just kept moving, if I kept trying, I could leave everything behind. That I could leave you behind. His eyes find mine, raw and unguarded. But I never could. My fingers clench at my sides. Then why did you try? His jaw tightens. Because you left first. The words hit like a punch to the ribs. And maybe it's fair. Maybe it's not. But it cracks something open between us. Something we've never fully faced. I swallow hard. I left because I thought you didn't want me to stay. His expression twists, like the thought of it physically hurts him. Jesus, Adam! He takes a step closer, voice thick. I always wanted you to stay. For a moment, neither of us breathe. The city hums quietly around us. The night air clings to my skin. And then he speaks again, softer this time. I was scared, he admits, of how much I loved you. Of how much I still love you. It's the first time he's said it without hesitation, without fear. Like it's just true. Like it's always been true. I let out a slow breath, my pulse pounding. And when I finally speak, my voice is steady. I never stopped loving you either. The moment stretches between us, thick with everything we've been holding back. And this time, neither of us run. Sebastian reaches for me first, tentative but sure, fingers brushing mine before gripping my wrist, my arm, my shoulders, like he's anchoring himself, like he's making sure I'm real. I step into him, close enough to feel his heartbeat against mine, his forehead resting against mine, and for a second, we just exist there, breathing the same air, standing on the same edge. And then, I close the distance. His lips meet mine, soft at first, then deepening into something more intense, more consuming. No hesitation, no regrets, just us, finally. It's funny how it all started again in the place where it was supposed to end. Sebastian and I had our beginning years ago, full of love and laughter and moments that felt endless, until they weren't. We let each other go, thinking that that was the only choice. We moved on, or at least we tried. But then, that wedding, that damn bathroom, the universe threw us together when we thought we were done, and somehow, instead of ending, we started again. And now there's no more fear, no more doubts, just us. This time, it's not temporary, it's not fleeting, it's forever, and I can't wait for every single moment of it. The end. Do you believe in second chances? Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become a part of our Rainbow Force and stay wholesome.